That's where some of the changes will happen, and we're going to see things happen. Fortunately, in the financial services industry, you're seeing that change already through payment banks and, of course, through mobile payments, and through a lot of stuff that's happening with all the companies like Paytm, MobiKwik, et cetera, et cetera. So again, go back to commerce, go back to communications, and go back to content, all coming together, all within a context. So companies who know, or ecosystems that know how to interplay with each other there, will actually survive. So jury's out. There isn't really a clear answer on this one. I wish I knew, but it's not that straightforward. By the way, there isn't any global model that we are following. It's not something it happened there and hence it's going to happen in India. I think we're going to be unique here. Sorry, you had a question.
Yeah. Hi. You talked about the integrated way of working, you know, how you spoke about...
Just an interruption. May you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Shweta. I work with NDTV. I look after the software development and automation. And one thing that I've seen in my company, so now that, you know, I told you that I work with NDTV, is that no matter how much you talk about integrated newsrooms and, you know, getting all your people together to work as one team, on the ground reality is actually quite different because the talent needed for, say, online news is very, very different from what you need for television, or in your case, in fact, print is, I would say, very, very different, right? So don't you think that no matter how, I mean, technically maybe we are able to integrate it, you know, we can have the workflows where news stories are flowing from one platform to another, but the talent itself, I mean, people who are creating the content is very different. I mean, is in your company, what's the case? What's your thought on that?
I think that's a very good question, and that's why I said the cultural transformation has been the most difficult and frankly the most surprising part. So we also suspected that. We also suspected that there'll be natural Chinese walls on the floor, yeah, and that there'll always be the old guys looking at the new guys and saying, that's not me. But we are really surprised. We are genuinely surprised. So it's amazing to see for lack of a better term, the conversion. And the hunger to learn something new is it's very large. So the fallout is not as much as we thought it would be. In fact, we are like I said, we're genuinely surprised. Sure. So let's also bear in mind, it's only been a year or so now in this journey that we are live with this. And so, you know, let's give it 2-3 years and see where we go. The other part is, you said online and print. The third part I'll inject is video. Yeah. Video and video creation is another. Obviously short form, not the broadcast variety. Yeah.
I think the rest of the questions can be taken offline. We'll move to the next presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next session is on digital media supply chain, delivery and publishing powered by AWS Cloud. So our next speaker is Deepak Kular, who is Head Media and Entertainment Services, India Amazon Web Services. To briefly tell you about Deepak, he loves numbers. He's passionate for digital media technologies with expertise in internet technologies, mobile and cloud environments. In his presentation, Deepak will run you through the importance of cloud in your environment and how it can empower media organizations to leapfrog. He will also put focus on how media companies are leveraging cloud for better performance, scalability, and how they are using big data and analytics. So may I welcome Deepak Kular on stage.
I'll just take a minute to set up my laptop. Set it up. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for coming in huge numbers, and thanks especially to Dr. Jaiman for his enriching experience being shared on the stage. I've attended a lot of shows, but frankly the kind of information which was shared was immense. I'm kind of deeply honored. And I'm also honored to see some of our customers here who have been using AWS services as such for a long time, kind of different kinds of things which they've been doing for frankly 5 years plus now. We've got customers here, ABP News I see here, we also see Balaji, we see Scoop Whoop, we see Wink, we see Hindustan Times, not to forget. So the endeavor here for me is to talk about how AWS can help in terms of enabling and supporting the media ecosystem to achieve any new goals which we are seeing at this point of time, any new innovations which are coming up in this space. I was at NAB last month, and NAB is really the center of all global innovations which happen worldwide in the broadcast and media space. So I'll probably just give a glance as to what we are seeing here in the as far as all the new things which are coming up. And the first thing which we see here is channel playout. Now this is very typical to the broadcast industry. Typically we see all broadcast automation systems traditionally being on-premise. And what we saw there was most of the broadcast vendors which have been in existence for the last 20 years, they're all talking how they can move to the cloud. And the biggest reason for doing this is all flexibility. Content production owners are looking at all new ways and means to deliver live content, linear content to different consumers. So traditionally what we see, for example, we have NDTV here, and again NDTV is one of our big customers. So thank you. So typically there is a channel and there is content. Now the only way to deliver that content is through the channel, right, which essentially is either in the broadcast space, and now people are also taking this for quite some time in the online space. But the content is still the same. Channel is still the same, which is getting delivered. Now, the kind of content which we see is coming to our broadcast customers, and specifically in the video space, is immense. We have one of our customers who's traditionally a newspaper hub, and they are producing around 1,500 video clips a day. That's immense, right? So 1,500 clips coming in from all different places across India and then converging in different locations and different parameters in terms of which video to publish, which video not to publish, and different kinds of rating systems for cameramen, for journalists, for all different kinds of people. Since this is huge amount of content, now the channel play out is people what are trying to do is also to deliver live linear contents in the online space using the content which anyways is there with them. And this content also over a period of time being delivered in a linear mode to people who want to view only specific kind of content. So that was an eye-opener for us. The second one is virtual reality, 360-degree and 4K streaming. Again, this was the kind of things which we are seeing here is mind-boggling. We'll soon be supporting some of our broadcasters to deliver live 4K 360-degree content in the VR mode. So if you're viewing a cricket match and if you're wearing your VR glasses, you'll be as though sitting there in the right there in the stadium. So those are the kind of things which essentially we see could be the future as far as the technology is concerned. Then specific things like frame accurate live to VOD functionality. I have a demo there which I'll probably showcase going forward on this one. Then as Dr. Jay Menon mentioned in terms of the amount of content which is getting viewed and obviously the service providers coming and supporting them. But that also brings a challenge in the amount of content which needs to be stored. Now people are creating all 4K, HD, and all different kinds of content, right? So content then also brings with it, there needs to be a space to store that content, right? And we've got all ways and means now available to also to smartly know as to what's there in the content. And then stuff like video editing in the cloud, that's also catching up in a big way. All kinds of online platforms to deliver live and video content and understand from them as to what really is getting done in the video space. And then obviously in the ad monetization space, again, new ideas, new innovations are coming up in terms of how can I monetize this content, both in the ad space, both in the subscription space. I'll speak about that in the due course of this presentation. So, and this was also one of the things which was done first time ever in the history, using AWS and Elemental, which is a company which was bought over by AWS 1.5 years back. We did live 4K streaming from space to the NAB center. And this was at a delay of 11 seconds. No time in the past has this kind of a live streaming event has taken place. So this was the first time, and this again was an eye-opener as to how these kind of things are getting done right now and what really the future holds for us. It's really unimaginable to see. On the numbers side of it, and this is typically an example of where Netflix is going as far as their content consumption is getting concerned. And on the other side, we see where content is getting consumed in kinds of different tablets, and where, and what we frankly see is now content is getting consumed in all ways and means of different kinds of devices, right? We see content getting consumed from Xboxes, we see content getting consumed from gaming consoles, we see content getting consumed from in the internet mode on set-top boxes, and we have one of our customers sitting back there from Tata Sky. Yeah, so different kinds and ways and means in which content getting consumed in different devices, and specifically in India, mobile has taken off in a massive way. So the most common trends which we see here are typically around these. The user experience, especially for consumers, if video is getting delivered, it has to be delivered in an optimal way. There's no second thoughts to experience. The video just can't buffer. And if it's news content, and if I'm a publisher or a broadcaster, I need my content to be up there and being available to the consumers as and when a breaking news happens. The time lag between publishing and then consuming has to be negligible. It's just negligible. We see anything has happened right now, it's just there in all sorts of portals and social the next second. Content monetization, yes, different, this definitely is a challenge, but as I said, different means are coming up in this space as well, and we have our customers here, and in fact, Old Balaji has been successful there. They've just launched the platform a month back, and they're already in the top earners in the OTT space as of now. And they've been pretty innovative in this space, so I'm sure you'll be talking about some of the innovative stuff which you've been doing in this space. But the bottom line here is analytics. Both important from understanding what the consumers are doing, their consumers' behavior, what kind of content they really are viewing, and what kind of content are they really publishing. So, so that is really, really important. And I'll talk about some of the ways and means whereby content can be further analyzed, consumers, what they view the content, how they're kind of viewing the content, how much are they viewing content, from which places they're viewing content, which browsers they're viewing the content. So I'll talk about all these ways and means, just to give an understanding of really how and what kind of content should be further produced so that the monetization can then be built around it.